Starfield is almost here, and we got a bunch of new information.
Starfield is releasing real soon. Now, whether it turns out to be good or bad, there's a lot to talk about. There's already a ton of public information out there to analyze, and some you may not have even caught. There's a lot to get to know and get caught up before release, so we've got 10 categories here. Let's get started with number 10. First things first, it cannot be understated just how big this game is seemingly going to be. Now, from all the
And how it's gonna be 90% empty.
pre-release information we've heard and seen, it sounds really big. The Bethesda Fallout games were basically confined to a single city and the area around it. The Elder Scrolls games are set in entire countries, but in Starfield, there's no joke. This is from the developers themselves. Obviously, we have to see it to believe it, but they're saying it.
If Todd Howard tells me the Earth is flat and hollow, I'll believe him.
Approximately 1,000 planets across about 100 solar systems. It's not a full galaxy, but it might as well be. That's an enormous amount of space, and there's going to be a lot to do in most of it. The main quest line is apparently going to be long all by itself. Bethesda estimates it's around 30 to 40 hours, which is way longer than any of their other main game quests, which, taken on their own, are actually quite short. It's everything else that usually makes their other games so long. So that doesn't sound like it'll be the case here. Even if you just stick to the main quest and avoid everything else, you'll probably still get your money's worth if that number is actually accurate. The main story is about the quest to find these mysterious artifacts with the help of a group called Constellation, who are exploring.
Yes, the artifact. And let me give you how great the Starfield lore is gonna be. So, people find this crazy alien artifact thing, and they literally put it in cold storage for like 100 years because it's like, fuck it, we got other stuff to do. What do we have to do currently? Well, honestly, not much. But we're just gonna put this on the back burner for now because, I don't want to do anything new at the moment. That's literally the lore, by the way. You can't make that up.
And adventurers. The game is definitely going for a kind of classic pulp sci-fi vibe with its story and setting. It's a kitchen sink approach to sci-fi, which will let Bethesda do pretty much whatever they want in this new sandbox, I guess. Now, we know that there will be 4 major settlements. New Atlantis, the capital of the United Colonies and the biggest city Bethesda apparently has ever built. Then there's Aquila City, which is the capital of the Freestar Collective, which Bethesda describes as a loose confederation.
Bethesda cities aren't actually that big, so it's not going to actually be probably that hard to make a bigger city. You know? That doesn't sound too impressive for me.
Of 3 distinct star systems, but let's call them what they are. Sounds like space cowboys. The third city we know about is called Neon. It's a cyberpunk-inspired city of vice, which is a stark contrast to how welcoming and nice the other 2 main cities seemingly are. Now, there's a lot more besides that, and there's going to be a ton of minor settlements, too. We just don't mean like generic shacks in the middle of a planet. These places are apparently still going to be pretty big and elaborate. Just from the trailers, some of these random locations look bigger than most major cities in other Bethesda games. But we'll talk more about planets and other settlements in a little bit.
Okay.
Now, next over at number 9, it shouldn't be a surprise that space travel is a big part of Starfield, but what has constantly surprised us is just how in-depth and complex your specific spaceship can be. This isn't just like a 3D model you look at during loading.
The spaceship, by the way, is pretty much a giant loading screen, if anyone's wondering. People who have played the game and have broke the silence already have said there's a loading screen for everything, pretty much. Literally everything's a loading screen in this game.
Screens between planets, you can actually pilot your ship somewhat, get into dogfights, travel between systems, scan, and it's all here. Now, of course, the main thing is still the regular on-foot combat that looks very reminiscent of Fallout 4, but in space, things play out very differently. According to the developers, ship combat is intentionally slow-paced and deliberate. Like, these won't be big Star Wars-esque shootouts. It's gonna feel different. That doesn't mean it's basic, though. To use weapons, shields, and your engine, you need to allocate power. There's a limited supply, so you'll have to be selective on what you want to send power to, which is very reminiscent of the game Faster Than Light. So there's an element of...
But not even with a tinge of its actual depth. So, you're telling me... So you're telling me The whole power of the ship is like literally 3 or 6 bars or something like that. That's amazing. So we have lasers, ballistic, ballistic, aka just your SMG shooty things, turrets and stuff like that. Missiles, energy shield, energy. That's probably how fast you go, right? Shields and GRV, gravity boosts. I don't know what that's supposed to honestly be, but yeah, wow. I mean, so in depth, what can I honestly say here? Oh boy, it's probably gonna take me years to figure out the best configurations for this. Woof.
Strategy here where you need to power up or down certain systems to deal with specific situations. Do you power up shields to max and tank damage?
I'm gonna tell you already how this is gonna turn out. Someone's gonna create a mod day one where that system is completely removed because it's just tedious garbage and it's stupid and it's bad. Day one, worst case scenario, end of the week. Someone's gonna create a mod that completely overhauls that stupid system and actually makes it make sense. 100% guaranteed.
Or do you set your engines to maximum and play keep away? Those are the kinds of decisions it sounds like you're going to be making on the fly in the game world. Now, ship customization is a huge feature here, and it looks like it'll be one of the most interesting. The game starts you off with a basic ship, but from there you can buy pre-built ones or design a ship from scratch yourself. Shipbuilding is entirely modular. You can move and attach parts however you want, as long as certain requirements are met. We're guessing that you have to put on landing gear, an exit ramp, some kind of docking system, an engine, rockets, cockpit, but it looks like there's tons of ways you can actually do that and arrange and customize your ship. Now, unfortunately, there are some downsides to ships that bring Starfield back to reality. You don't seamlessly transition from the outside of your ship to the inside, and landing on planets is a cutscene rather than something you can do in-game, which is kind of disappointing, but it's good to know that Bethesda is trying to avoid setting up unreasonable expectations here. At least they've been upfront. Now, space isn't just a place where you fight and go to planets. You can also hail other ships and engage in acts of piracy, among other things. Also, you're not flying alone. Along with 20 named companions you can get, there are also crew member NPCs you can hire as part of your crew who have unique stats and skills which can augment your own. So if you're not a very good pilot, you can hire an NPC that's an expert pilot to help improve your ship combat abilities. The feature that we're most interested in, of course, as we've said, is the ship customization, though. It looks surprisingly complex, even for a Bethesda game after base building of Fallout 4. So we really want to see if it's as open-ended.
It actually just looks to me like it is base building from Fallout 4, if I'm being completely honest.
As it looks in the trailers. Now, next over at number 8, let's talk planets. You know, all those 1,000 or so planets, they're not just there for show. You can actually land on and explore most of them. While you're in planetary orbit, you can scan for resources and select a landing location. Yeah, this isn't Mass Effect 2 where you gather resources from orbit. You can actually land on most planets where you can wander around, find hotspots, scan plant life, deal with hostile aliens, and just explore. Planets look to vary wildly in atmosphere and biomes. Some planets have thick forests, some are frozen wastelands, others are just empty, blasted moons. It all sounds too good to be true, but keep in mind that most planets out there aren't handcrafted. They're actually procedurally generated.
Yep.
It only makes sense considering how huge planets actually are and how many of them there are. But don't go to any random planet and expect to find something completely unique and special if you land in any random spot. Like, that's just speculation from our part. Like, we doubt that Bethesda's gonna make some incredible handcrafted.
They said that 90% of the planets are dead weight, by the way. So, you go to a solar system, one out of those planets at best is gonna have like stuff on it. It's gonna be great.
Thing and hide it away on a planet that statistically 99% of players aren't even gonna see, but who knows? Now, next over at number 7, here's the real reason you want to check out all these planets. the base building is back from Fallout 4, but it looks much stronger here. On any random planet, you can start building your own base that can be used as a shelter, a place to store items, and also build machines that can mine the planet and generate resources.
Ooh, that is cool.
Needs power to function. So like Fallout 4, this is a more complex system than in many games, but hopefully the power stuff is a little less fiddly this time. One very cool new feature is that you can go into an isometric view when base building to make it easy to snap parts together. This looks great and should make it so much easier to build the large parts of your base. Just from being able to see it in relation to the environment is a big help. Now, like your ship, NPCs can also be hired here to staff your bases and run them forward.
That's cool.
Sort of like the settlement system from Fallout. In many ways, the base building looks like a continuation of the ideas in their other games, but it looks like it'll be even better here. Oh, yeah, and if base building isn't your thing, then you can still buy houses in this game. The major cities all sound like they have places to buy where you can rest and store your loot. Some of them even have quests connected with them, so there's even more of an incentive to buy houses. So it sounds like if you're trying to live out your life in the game, Bethesda will accommodate you. Next, over at number 6, let's talk factions and quest lines. Now, some of our favorite parts of Skyrim are from the faction quests. They're organizations that you can join that have their own story to play through. They're smaller than the main quest, but bigger and more elaborate than your most random side quests, and completing them usually gets you unique rewards. And it sounds like Starfield is going all in on faction quest lines, because from all the pre-release information we've seen and read and watched, there's going to be a lot of them. There's Constellation, which we're guessing is just the main quest, but then there's also the United Colonies, the Freestar Collective, Ryujin Industries, a corporation on Neon that the devs have confirmed is a faction that you can join, and the Crimson Fleet. Now, the Crimson Fleet sounds especially interesting, as they're a gang of space pirates that are a major enemy group. We're not sure if Bethesda has straight up said that you can join them, but they have revealed that you can infiltrate a faction on the orders from another, and that you can ultimately decide which side to betray, which sounds a lot like you're infiltrating the Crimson Fleet, but that's speculation for us. The last major faction is currently the most mysterious. These are the guys called the House of Varun, who apparently worship like a snake deity. This one, Bethesda has been very tight-lipped about. We have no idea if you can join them or not.
I'm gonna make a prediction. That snake deity is gonna be like an Ouroboros. And they're gonna try to end the universe because, well, it's galactic scale. So naturally you're saving the universe or something like that at some point.
That leaves at least 4 major factions we know you can join in this game, which is still a lot. Now over at number 5, for people that bemoaned Fallout 4's simplification of the role-playing elements Bethesda is normally associated with, it looks like Starfield will
it was
be
a horrible
addressing
decision.
Many of your complaints. There is, of course, character customization where you can change your appearance, but along with that, you can also give your character optional traits that add to their history. You can choose...
Bro, by the way, I just want to point out how fucking ugly all of these characters look.
You can choose where...
This is Skyrim. Skyrim's a 10-year-old game. Bethesda's again pulling that, well, we're gonna make something that looks 20 years outdated. Have fun. You know? At least you have mods, right? So we're gonna make like a bare bones game and the mods can fix it. Nice.
History. You can choose where they grew up, or even if they have living parents, which can add new wrinkles to your experience and give you additional dialogue options. The voiced main character is out, and Starfield is back to having a silent protagonist. The dialogue wheel is also gone, and it looks like the list is back. This might not seem like a major change, but for people who really want a lot of choices in dialogue and want to know exactly what their character is saying, this is big. That means fewer options that are just yes with snark and no, and more actually conversation trees with multiple different directions.
Now, admittedly, I will say this. We don't, even if there's 6 options, we don't know what Bethesda's doing with them, right? We don't know if there's going to be, from those 6 options, how it's going to go. Maybe it's like yes with snark still, no, snarky, aggressive for no reason, aggressive with reason. Like, we don't know, okay? The fact that you're offering 20 dialogue options as a response doesn't mean that it's impactful, okay?
and outcomes. At least that's what we're hoping for. We don't know for sure, but we will say that just the presence of a dialogue list is a step in the right direction. There's also a persuasion minigame that's...
How did that guy get a job? How did this guy get a job? That's ridiculous. He's bald. And to hide the fact that he's bald, he tattooed some kind of thing on his face. Oh no. Bruh. Good luck getting your pension.
Also a persuasion minigame that's sort of like Oblivion, but it also looks like a lot more clear just from the screenshots that we've seen. This is just from looking at pictures, but it seems like you get multiple options that are green, yellow, and red. Green are easier to pull off, red are harder, and you've got only so many turns to convince someone before the minigame fails. The speech system is closer to Fallout 3. It's chance-based rather than Fallout New Vegas, which just required you to have high enough speech skill and you'd always win.
Speech was OP.
You always have a chance of winning a persuasion check in Starfield, but on the flip side, there's also always a slight chance that you can fail. So good luck. Next, over at number 4, Starfield has a skill tree, but it's not quite the same as what we got back in Fallout 4. In this game, there are multiple skill trees: physical, social, combat, science, and tech. Now, many of these skills we've seen so far look like things similar to Fallout, but there's a major wrinkle. You can only unlock the first rank of a skill. If you want to increase its rank, then you need to complete specific challenges. So they've made the skill system a kind of hybrid between Fallout 4 and the Elder Scrolls. In
That's
Fantasy
kind
series,
of okay.
You get better at things by doing them. You know, using an axe a lot made your axe skill go up. Lock-picking doors and chests made your security skill go up. Things like that. Depending on how it's implemented, this actually may be an improvement, or it could add some annoying busy work to ranking up your skills. It just depends on how demanding these challenges are. Hopefully, like, to level up your speed, you don't have to run and collect 1,000,000 Korok seeds or something. Oh my god. Personally, we do think this might be a good change as long as they pull it off. You know,
it could be a good change if they pull it off, yes.
It's kind of silly how you could just rank up a single skill right from the start in old Bethesda games, like jumping up and down 1,000,000 times if you wanted. It almost made things too easy, so we'll see how it goes here. Now, down at number 3, we did allude to this earlier, but Starfield doesn't force you to be a goody two-shoes space explorer. You can be a full-blown space criminal if you want. That means you can attack civilian vessels, pirate cargo shipments, steal from other ships, even steal entire other ships to add to your fleet. You can also smuggle illegal goods for money. Smuggling can be tough because if you've got illegal goods on your ship, like human organs, then your ship is scanned by the authorities and you'll get caught, fined, and possibly thrown into jail. There are ways around the scans, though. You can buy special ship modules that can be used to hide things. I bet these things can't just be bought anywhere, though. Probably a lot harder to find. So there's actually a lot to do in Starfield if you want to be more of a bad guy, and we are all for that. Now, down at number 2, this might be their least buggy game yet. Now, take this one with a grain of salt.
I don't know about that, Chief. It's Bethesda. They're literally banking on the fact that they're going to release something half-cooked, and then the modders are going to fix it for them.
Because Bethesda games are pretty well known at this point for launching in a buggy state. But head of Microsoft Game Studios, Matt Booty, has come out and said that if Starfield shipped today, this would have the fewest bugs any Bethesda game has ever shipped with.
That means that it still could have more bugs than any other game ever has, though.
Which is a bold claim, but one that we're at least a little inclined to believe. We know the game has seen some large delays from its initial release date of November 2022. And a big reason they've always given for pushing the game back was for polish reasons. Now that Bethesda is owned by Microsoft and is now an Xbox console exclusive, there's even more pressure on the game to not only be good, but to break the stigma that...
Redfall, anyone? Redfall, anyone? Anyone Redfall? Yeah. Polish and stuff.
Bethesda games are buggy. Yeah, we know. Todd Howard also said that Fallout 76 just works, and that game was a pretty rough mess for a while.
It was garbage, and still is, by the way. Just to point it out again. It still is garbage.
It doesn't just work.
But in this case, we're at the very least just hoping Starfield will be better. We don't think it'll be perfect, but, you know, hopefully it's not a disaster. I know we're probably going to have to eat these words when it finally launches, but we're just hoping for the best. The more games that release in a good state, the better. Now down to number 1, some housekeeping and all that stuff you got to know.
Let's go.
Starfield is almost upon us, and the game is releasing September 6th for Xbox Series X.
That is
S
so
and
close.
PC through the Microsoft Store and Steam.
That's
Microsoft
next
is real
month.
serious about this one. It's going to be on Game Pass day 1, which is big.
Which is not a good thing, by the way.
We've gotten a lot.
The fact that it's on Game Pass. The fact that Bethesda is willing to lose money. Because that's what it means to be on Game Pass. Lose money, technically, for a new release.
Exclusives on Game Pass before, but nothing as big as Starfield. And like, we're not just talking big in terms of hype, we're talking size. It's 139.84 gigs, so...
everyone knows the fact that the game is huge means it's badly made, okay? There are no... How do you know if a game is made by a Western developer? Well, it's probably 100 gigs plus. Because it has de novo and all of that garbage in it.
So be sure to clear up some space on your hard drive, because you're going to need it. Now, September 6th may be the real release date, but for people who buy the premium edition, you get early access to the game. And can
you also get a fake watch that doesn't tell you time, and it's made out of plastic. Woo.
Start playing it 5 days earlier than everyone else on September 1st. We'll leave it up to you to do the cost-benefit analysis on that one. Everybody's different, but...
Dude. Pre-order Game Pass. Already they're trying to tell you, oh, look at this deal. If you just pre-order it, it's gonna be great. On sale, save $3.50. Save $3.50 like the Loch Ness Monster, boys. It's gonna be great. Amazing.
But that's everything you really need to know, everything to get caught up on.
What an
We
experience.
got a bonus one for you. We wanted to highlight that power at the end of the gameplay deep dive video in that official gameplay deep dive trailer thing. You can look it up on YouTube at 41 minutes, 43 seconds. What was that? It looks like you hold up your hand and cause all the enemies to start floating, or like, are there special powers to unlock in this game? Do you get some kind of space magic as part of the main quest? We don't know what's going on, but it's
a dragon shot. A dragon shot.
Seems like a cool tease, and we knew we had to mention it. Maybe they'll bring back Fusro Da, but in space. Who knows? But that's everything you need to.
Bruh, that sounds exactly Bethesda-like. I'm not gonna lie. Fusro Da in space, baby. Oh boy. And that's pretty much it. Wow. It is what it is, boys. It is what it is. Anyway, this was Cause said, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.